In 1945, World War II ended. Nazi Germany had fallen. Its cities were destroyed, its leaders were dead, or so the world thought. But thousands of Nazis didn't die, they vanished. Some of the worst war criminals in human history escaped and quietly built new lives, thousands of miles away in South America. How did they escape? Who helped them? And how did some live free for decades while the world hunted them? This is the secret escape of the Nazis. When Germany surrendered in May 1945, Europe was in ruins. Entire cities had been flattened. Governments had collapsed. Over 60 million people were dead, and millions more were refugees, wandering across borders with no homes, no documents, and no clear identity. This chaos created the perfect opportunity for escape. Nazi officers removed their uniforms. They burned their papers. They changed their names. And then they disappeared into the crowds. But disappearing in Europe wasn't enough. They needed to leave the continent entirely, and secret escape routes were already forming. They were called the ratlines. These weren't random escapes. They were organized, planned, and frighteningly effective. The ratlines were underground escape networks that moved Nazis out of Europe. Most routes led through Italy. Nazis would travel secretly from Germany or Austria into cities like Rome or Genoa. There they hid in safe houses. They were given food, money, and new clothes, and most importantly, new identities. Some received refugee passports. Others used forged documents. Under their new names, they boarded ships heading across the Atlantic Ocean. Their destination? South America. Thousands made this journey, and many were never stopped. South America was the perfect hiding place. It was far from Europe, far from war crime investigators, and far from justice. But one country stood above the rest: Argentina. Argentina's president at the time, Juan Perón, welcomed European immigrants, including former Nazis. Perón admired aspects of fascist governments and wanted skilled European professionals to help modernize his country. Argentina also had large German-speaking communities. Nazis could blend in easily. They could work normal jobs, start families, and live ordinary lives as if nothing had happened. Other countries also became safe havens: Brazil, Paraguay, Bolivia, Chile. Thousands of Nazis disappeared into these countries. Some never faced justice. Ever. But one of the most wanted men in the world made a mistake. He thought he was safe. He was wrong. Adolf Eichmann was one of the architects of the Holocaust. He helped organize the deportation of millions of Jews to concentration camps. After the war, Eichmann escaped. He traveled through the ratlines and arrived in Argentina in 1950. He lived under a fake name, Ricardo Clement. He worked in a factory. He raised a family and lived in peace for 15 years. But in 1960, Israeli intelligence agents tracked him down. They secretly captured him, smuggled him out of Argentina, and brought him to Israel. He was put on trial for crimes against humanity. The world watched. He was found guilty and executed. Justice had finally caught him. But many others were not so unlucky. Josef Mengele was one of the most feared doctors in Nazi Germany. At Auschwitz, he performed horrific experiments on prisoners, especially twins. After the war, he escaped to Argentina, then Paraguay, then Brazil. He lived freely for decades. He was never captured. In 1979, he died while swimming. He drowned. He escaped justice forever. So how did thousands of war criminals escape, right under the world's nose? The answer lies in timing and fear. The world after World War II was chaotic. Millions of refugees were moving across borders. Tracking individuals was nearly impossible. But something else was happening. The Cold War had begun. The United States and its allies became more focused on stopping communism than hunting every Nazi. Some former Nazis were even seen as useful. They had intelligence, scientific knowledge, military experience, and in some cases, they were quietly allowed to disappear. South America offered distance. protection, anonymity, and thousands took advantage of it. Today, the story of the Nazi escapes remains one of history's most disturbing secrets. Thousands fled. Many lived normal lives. Some were captured. Many were not. They built new identities, new families, new futures, far from the destruction they left behind. But their story serves as a reminder that even when justice is delayed, the truth is never truly buried. If you found this story fascinating, subscribe to Random Facts for more hidden history, mysteries, and truths the world tried to forget. Because history always leaves clues, and we uncover them.